this book, like Andrew Peters just bought this book, and this is a book I've been telling people about. It's called You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar by David Sandler. And this is a book I was telling you that the guy in California, Lee Rivera, he was talking this book up like crazy. And just to kind of recount, so when I went out to California to do the hotspot, that's the first time I met Lee and his mom. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, thank you for that ATM video because I watched it." And I go, "Wow, you watched all 2.5 hours?" He goes, "Yeah, I watched all 2.5 hours." And he goes, "I was not successful. I was like not closing. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. And then I stumbled upon your video online on YouTube, the ATM video." And he said, "It turned my closing rate around. I started closing. I started having so much better of a time understanding how to use the ATM. Because before," he goes, "before I was just flipping through the slides. That's all I knew, just flipping through slides. And then when I got your video, it totally put it in the right context because now I understand why the slides are there." It's like, what's the purpose of the flow of the ATM? And I said, "Yeah, I mean, you put it into the proper context, then it makes sense, doesn't it?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." And then so I see him at National Conference. And he comes up to me again. He goes, "Dude, this is like at the very end. We're walking out and we're going home." And he caught me and he goes, "Dude, I got to tell you, I bought the book." I go, "Which book?" He goes, "The book, the Sandler book, You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar." I go, "Oh, man." Yeah, he goes, "You mentioned it at the hotspot." And so I picked it up. He goes, "My closing rate is now 80%. Like, remember we talked about 3, 2, 1, 3 booked, 2 show up, and you close half? Okay, that's the average. But I've always maintained that the top part of that average would, you can pull it up to 80%. Well, he did that. And do you know that the way I teach the ATM is all based on the Sandler Sales System? And on the Sandler Sales Submarine, which I'm a President's Club member of the Sandler Sales System. I paid like 10 grand many years ago to be a lifetime member. And so I can plug into meetings and I can, take advantage of their system. And so 15, 16 years ago, I adapted the Sandler system to our lead program. Okay, and there's like 7 steps, but I boiled it down to 5, and there's other steps in there. So anyway, so that's what the ATM, when you look at the flow of the ATM, that's kind of my influence on the ATM was to flow it out like the Sandler system. Well, he got the book of the system that is based on, at least the way I teach it. And he said his closing rate went up to 80%. Okay, now look, I don't make money if you order this book. Well, okay, that's not true. The only way I make money is when you sell, who's in my bake shop team, and then I make money because you use the techniques in the book. You're going to sell more, and then I make money. But for those of you not on my team, I still make money because I make spiritual money. It always comes back. So I'm sowing a seed that will come back anyway because it's God's money, not my own. He's the master of the harvest. I'm the seed sower. That's my job, is sowing the seed. So I'm sowing this good seed in you. And it's called You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. And he says stuff in here, oh my gosh. Like I learned all this stuff in Sandler class, and then every week I go to the weekly training, and we'll cover different parts in this. Here's the Sandler selling tip on pain. Okay, the biggest part of closing is finding the client's pain. So here's what Sandler says, selling to pain. As a professional salesperson, your driving goal is to identify the gap between where the prospect is and where he or she wants to be. Okay, so let's say it again. Your goal is to identify the gap where the prospect is and where he or she wants to be. That gap is something you discover, not something you create. You're not out to cause emotional distress where none existed before. What your job is to identify what that is. And if you can't find it, then you're walking out the door. You're not presenting prices. You're not trying to do some fancy features benefit closing technique like a slimy salesperson would do. You walk out of there, and you walk out of there quick. Because if there's not a pain, then the person, even if you happen to sell them, then you're going to get a chargeback because they're going to cancel the policy. They're going to cancel it. They're going to cancel it. All right. He says this, after all, if this is a real prospect, he or she is already concerned. Now, when they send a lead back, they've already identified they're concerned. By the virtue of writing all their information on a piece of paper, folding it up, sticking it in an envelope, going to their mailbox and mailing it, they are already concerned, already frustrated, already unhappy, already disappointed, or otherwise emotionally engaged with the existence of that gap between where I am now and where I want to be. That's what motivates people getting to fill that lead out. It's that gap. Your job is not to create pain, but to have good discussions with people that uncover these emotions. Uncover these emotions. That's like the crux of any close, proper close. Like I say, a righteous sale is that you took care of somebody's pain. Oh man. Oh my gosh. To get to the top of the sales profession, you've got to practice, practice, practice. Find a system that works and learn it. Spend enough time getting to know it, and soon you will own it. And then even under pressure, you will deliver. This book is chock full. Like here's the, by the way, this is the second edition. This is the latest edition. So if you're going to go out and get it, make sure it's the second edition of You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. Second edition. So here's like some of the stuff in the table of contents. 5 steps to help you master the selling dance. Actually, let me tell you what those 5 are. And you'll find these in our system. Okay. Number 1, you got to qualify your prospects. Number 2, extract your prospect's pain. Number 3, verify the prospect has money. 4, be sure the prospect is a decision maker. 5, match your service or product to the prospect's pain. Those are the 5 elements. That's all you have to do is follow those 5 rules. Qualify the prospects. How do we do that? On the About You page, getting to know them, finding out more about them. Finding out more about them through the About You page. Extracting your prospect's pain. That's the part about what if. Verify the prospect has money. That's part of the About You, just kind of looking at their overall financial picture, right? Be sure the prospect's a decision maker. That's why we don't do one-legged appointments, gang. If the husband and wife are there, then we know we're sitting down with the decision maker. And then number 5, match your service or product to the prospect's pain. That's where we come up with the 3 different options for them, and they pick the option. The ATM has every single one of these elements if you follow it. All right, it's all in there, right? Another Sandler selling tip. You have to learn to fail to win. When it comes to making cold calls, generating referrals, replying effectively to emails, or doing anything else a professional salesperson must be prepared to do on a daily basis, it's okay to fail. Failure is a part of the human condition. Everybody fails at something. Failure is how we learn. Okay, listen to that. Failure is how we learn. People who achieve a great deal fail at many things. Recognizing failure as a potential positive experience gives you a new freedom. The freedom to try new things, be more creative, and stretch yourself outside your comfort zone. Man, that rocks. Sandler is what got me into neuro-linguistic programming. It got me into the deeper parts of understanding human nature and building bond and rapport. This guy led me there. And all the stuff you learn here is exactly how you recruit. Because recruiting involves the same 5 things. Okay, you qualify your recruit. You extract your recruit's pain. You verify that your recruit has money. In other words, they got the $49 to get into class. You make sure that your recruit is a decision maker. Does he have to check with his wife? Does she have to check with her husband? Right? And then you match what we do in the alliance to your recruit's pain. So if your recruit's pain is no time with the family, no control over the income, guess what? You talk about our program as a way to alleviate the problem with control of his time and control of his time and the time he wants to spend with his family, right? You don't talk about him becoming a millionaire and having a hierarchy of 300 agents and he's making 1.2 million a year. That's not what he's concerned about. His pain is spending more time with his family and being in control. So you talk about our opportunity as an opportunity to help him alleviate his pain. Does that make sense? So not only are you going to learn how to be a good salesperson with us, but you're going to learn how to be a good recruiter and a builder of a business, all in one book. And this book was $32, list price here, $32. But I think I got it cheaper, you know. But I'll tell you what, this is worth $1,000. The stuff in here is worth thousands of dollars every week. The stuff you learn here, gang, you will make the money every week. The fruits of this is a weekly residual income to you. If you're not closing, if you're only closing 4 deals a week when you could be closing 8, this will help you close 8. Not only because you're confident, but like my man Floyd Parker, this is the book that brought him back. Floyd just turned in a bunch of apps, and I forgot what he did. I read it out on Leaderboard. Floyd came back to me because he realized that this is the book that the ATM was based on, the way I teach it, and his sales turned around. He's fired up. He's confident. I've never heard him talk the way he's talking now. I'm telling you, gang, this is the key. He also read another great book, Sandler Success Principles, and then there's another book on Sandler Rules. I know I have it here somewhere. I probably lend it out to somebody. Man, you get those 3 books and it will change your future. It will change your life. It'll change everything that you're doing, because this unlocks the door to your potential that you have inside you. All right? So I hope I sold that well enough to y'all, and I hope you go out and get it.